Let's talk creativity. At one point in our lives, we were all very creative. When we were in kindergarten or preschool or whatever, when we were toddlers, we were all very creative. And we would draw and sing and make up stories the whole day long. And we were encouraged to do that. But then at a certain point, when we grew older, we were judged on our creative results, and people say like, oh, you can't draw, you can't sing, you can't write. And we all took that as the truth, and we stopped doing it. We stopped being creative, and some people were actually stimulated from early age and told that they were creative. And actually that was something that happened to me. I was in kindergarten, and my teacher, the one that I had when I was in kindergarten the first year, one day she came to my parents and she said, your daughter is really creative. And she told my parents that she had told a story about kids in Africa to the whole class. And then after the story, we had to draw something about the story. And I drew a head and arms and legs and a little bit of the spine, but the middle piece was missing, so there was no belly. And I was used to drawing figures with a head and a belly and arms and legs. So she was wondering why I didn't draw a belly, and she asked me, and I said, yeah, you just told me that kids in Africa don't have food, so they don't have a belly, or they don't need a belly. And she thought that was really creative thinking. And I'm very thankful to her, because she told my parents, and my parents always were convinced that I was really creative. And when I was at a certain point in my schooling, I had to choose which way to go, and they encouraged me to go to art school, because they had this idea that I was really creative. And by going to art school, my creativity grew. And that is my point. Like, everybody is creative, but most of us are told they are not. And so when you are convinced you are creative, you just do more creative things and you become more creative. So it's just a matter of exercising and doing so. You can unleash your creativity again by starting to do creative things. And I know with creativity you need inspiration. And when I was reading this book from Elizabeth Gilbert called Big Magic, and there she says that to her, inspiration is just another life form here on earth. And inspiration, the only purpose that inspiration has is to be realized, is to be the ideas that they have, that the ideas are realized. So they go to people and to persons, and they like knock and see if those people are available to realize the idea that the inspiration holds. But most of us are too busy and too preoccupied or too occupied to even notice that there's an idea knocking on their brains or on their souls or whatever. And so people that are open to ideas and to inspiration, they feel the inspiration coming in and they realize the ideas. And so that is what Elizabeth Gilbert more or less says about inspiration. And I think I really believe that, because when I was little, I always told my mom, like, no, I don't have to study, Mom, because when I do this, The answers are all around us, and when I do this, I just have the right answer. So I don't need to study. Um, yeah, maybe that was true up until a certain age, but afterwards, not so much. But anyway, I the thing is that maybe you've noticed yourself, but in times when you are not, when your brain is not occupied, when you're like in the shower, or when you're just waking up, or when you just go to sleep, then the ideas are coming. And that is because your brain is silent. And so that is the first point. When you just silence your brain now and then, by meditation, by just being and not doing, by maybe taking a shower every day, and or by going for a walk, or other things. And so you allow the inspiration to come in, and then for your creativity to be unleashed, I have a good tip, and that is something that I'm also doing, like my Familiar Faces project. So just take one object or one print from internet or something that interests you, and just be with it, and draw it or paint it or describe it every day. And you will see after like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, when you stick to it, everything changes, because you are reframing. You are seeing things in a bigger light. And when you reframe, you can come up with so many different things and so much more things. And you will see that your technique will improve as well when you practice each day over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And you will start to look forward to it. Maybe at first you say, like, the first couple of days, like, oh, this is nothing. It's like, it's crap what I created. Well, yeah, let it be crap. You know, I've posted some of my Familiar Faces project that I restarted like just a few days ago. And are they good? No, they're not good. They're okay, because you can see what it is, but they're not good. So, but I post them anyway, just to let you know, to let you see that it doesn't all have to be perfect from day one. It can't be perfect from day one. You have to practice. And if you just do that on a regular basis, you are growing into enjoying it and looking forward to it. And you will see the improvement that you make, and it will give you so much joy, and it will like broaden your horizon, and it will make space for other things like your job and your, if you really have to think about complex problems or something, but when you add your creativity to it daily, then you will see that maybe sometimes you look at the complex problems in another way, and you find other answers. And by reframing, that's what I think I started to talk about like a couple of minutes ago. But when you tell a story about your past, something that happened, it can be that we tell it in a rather negative way. But if you change angles, if you look at it differently, if you look for the silver lining and reframe your story, it can be a positive thing, something that you learned out of that story, or something that you want to learn or you want to become. And so reframing is such a big thing in creativity, because creativity is often reframing things, like taking some viewpoint or some technique or some tool and using it in a totally different field, and that can be innovation and creativity. So making space to look at the big picture, to take a step back, to look at the big picture, to reframe things, that can be really helpful in your creativity. And that is one thing that Tina Selig also talks about, the reframing. And she said the best reframing examples can be found in jokes, because a joke starts out like as a normal story, and we are so used to thinking in one direction that we don't see the joke coming, because somewhere along the story it's reframed and you look at it totally different, and that is why the joke is funny. And I have a really lame example about it, but it's two crazy men, and they go into a hotel and they rent a room for a night. They both rent a room for the night, and then they are talking, and all of a sudden they get angry at each other. And the one crazy man says, "Okay, tomorrow morning I wake up really early and I'm going to write crazy on your door." And the other one thinks and he says, "Okay, I will wake up even earlier and I wipe it off my door." So that is the reframing. I know it's a lame example, but you know what I mean? It's like suddenly you look totally different towards the thing. So reframing your questions, reframing your stories is a really important part of being creative and being positive and getting inspiration and stuff like that. So I hope that if you feel like it, just go for it and download a picture, print a picture from the internet, something that you're really attracted to, and start painting it, drawing it, describing it every day for the next X days, and see what comes out of it. And I would be really, really, really pleased um, if you had some comments or you have some results like in the next X days. Just let me know, because I think that can be really interesting and we can all learn from each other. And I would really love to learn from you and how you go about it, and how things work out for you.